All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over our Facebook ads retargeting tutorial. So I've done a retargeting tutorial in the past, but it wasn't really that detailed. So I'm going to go through a little bit of everything today from start to finish. So you really know how to set up retargeting campaigns, how to set up retargeting audiences, and some of the different options that you have in Facebook ads. So I'm here in Business Manager. In order to get started, you will need a Facebook page, obviously, and then you're also going to need a Facebook ad account. So I use Business Manager, pretty simple to set up. If you go to create a Facebook Business Manager, you can follow their guides very easily. You just connect your ad account and your Facebook page to your Business Manager, very simple. And then what we're going to do is open our ad account here for Surfside PPC. So if I come into the ad account, you're going to see my Facebook Ads Manager, all of the campaigns that we've ran in the past, all the campaigns we're currently running. So what I can do first is, in order to run retargeting, you're going to have to put the Facebook pixel on your website. So the Facebook pixel is a site-wide pixel that is able to track all of your website traffic. You can use it to set up specific audiences. You can also use it for conversion tracking as well. So it's a really useful piece of code that essentially just tracks everything that's going on your website. So we're going to click on the menu in the top left hand corner, and if we come over here under measure and report, you can see pixels. So we're going to click on pixels right here. Now if you're looking for a little bit more of a detailed resource about the Facebook pixel and how to set up some different custom conversions, you can check out one of our recent videos. So I'll put it in the video description. It's install your Facebook pixel and create custom conversions with Facebook ads. So pretty simple how to manage everything with Facebook ads and your Facebook pixel. So if we come over here to our Surfside PPC pixel, if you don't have one yet, what we're going to want to do is click on add a new data source. So a data source is essentially your Facebook pixel, an offline event set, or app events. So if we click on Facebook pixel, it'll prompt us to create a new Facebook pixel. You can name it, you can enter your website URL if you want, and you can click on create. So it'll eventually create something that looks like this. We can click on it. And what we can do is click on setup over here and click on install pixel. So what you can do is connect it directly to your partner platform. So you can see some different options here: BigCommerce, Google Tag Manager, Magento, Segment, Shopify, Squarespace, Wix, and WooCommerce. There's a lot of different options that you can easily connect your Facebook pixel. Otherwise, you can manually install it yourself. Now, we went over some pretty simple ways to do it with WordPress. What you can do is click on manually install it yourself. So you just copy the entire pixel code here, and then you can use a plugin like Insert Headers and Footers and put it directly in the header. So it'll stay there no matter what, even if you update your website. So one easy way to add it to your WordPress website. You can also just connect it directly like I just showed you. You can also use a different plugin like Pixel Your Site. So you can easily add your Facebook pixel using this plugin as well. Now, if you're running a Shopify store, for example, and you don't want to go through the partner integrations in Facebook ads, all you need to do in your Shopify store is you need to go to your online store and then preferences, and then there's a specific section for Facebook pixel, and you can just enter the ID right there. It'll never change, and it'll always be site-wide on your website. So it's very easy to add this to your website, and you need to do this because that's how Facebook is going to allow you to build audiences based on your website traffic. So we're going to click on continue here. So we have our Facebook pixel on our website already. So what we want to do is come back over here. And what we're going to do next is start building some of our retargeting audiences so that we can actually target them with our Facebook advertisements. So we're going to click on the menu again up here, come to all tools. Under assets, we're going to click on audiences. Okay, so you should see something that looks like this. If you don't have any audiences created yet, that's fine. I've created a bunch of audiences over the years. So what I can do is click on create audience here, and under custom audience, every single type of custom audience is pretty much a retargeting audience. The main types of retargeting audiences most advertisers think of are website traffic. So when you talk about retargeting, you're generally talking about website traffic. But if you upload a customer file, so we recently went over that in one of our previous tutorials as well. If you upload a customer file here, what you can do is just upload maybe your MailChimp mailing list. You can upload a file from Shopify, for example, of customers who have purchased from you. And you can also upload the lifetime value, so how much a specific customer has purchased from you over time. So all of these would be different forms of retargeting. So one thing I would also recommend doing is checking out our Facebook ads targeting for 2019. So we went over all the different targeting options and how to build audiences for your campaigns. So you don't have to do that, but it's just another option for kind of learning more about some of these different sources here. So we're going to come back over here, and what I'm going to do is go over website traffic. So if I click on website traffic here, what it's going to show is include people who meet any of the following criteria. You could either do any or all. So all will kind of limit it a little bit. Any will be anybody who has visited one page on a website, visited another page on the website, whereas all would be someone who visited each individual page on the website. And if they didn't visit one, they wouldn't be included in the audience. So I generally use any more often, but you can use all as well. It really depends on what your goals are and who you're trying to reach. Now, if I use my Surfside PPC pixel here, so that's why we want to include that on our website, because now it's tracking everybody who is going to our website, and we're able to retarget them with our advertisements when they go and visit Facebook. So what I'm going to do is, rather than doing all website visitors, I want to reach anybody who has visited pages on my website related to Google Ads. So what I'm going to do here is do people who visited specific web pages. So some other options here is you can also do any of the events that you have. So I've kind of gone over this a little bit in the past, but any events. So for example, if you are using an e-commerce website, some events would include things like add to cart, when someone signs up for an account, when someone adds their payment information, or when someone purchases something. You can use some of those different events. You can set up events as conversions. So I can do someone for my events from a custom conversion. So there's a few different options for events. You can use them to either target people or exclude people from your campaign. So what I want to do is include people who meet any of the following criteria, and I'm going to do people who visited specific web pages. So I want to target people who have visited the pages on my website related to Google Ads. So to give some examples of this, the first one is going to be just our Google Ads course here. So it's surfsideppc.com/Google-ads. If we scroll down, you can see we have a bunch of videos here. And then as you scroll down, we link to some of the different articles on our website so people can really learn Google Ads with ease. So this is one page here that I want to make sure I include. So I'm going to take this URL, and all I'm going to do is include Google-ads. I'm going to copy that. We're going to come back over here. I'm going to do URL contains Google Ads. So it's that simple, just like that. You don't even need to include the backslashes. So what I'm going to do over here is open another page. So I have a lot of content on my website about the Google Keyword Planner. So anybody who's using the Google Keyword Planner is generally somewhat interested in Google Ads. Now they at least have to have a Google Ads account. They might be using the Keyword Planner for SEO, but I'm willing to take that risk. I'd rather just target people who are using the Keyword Planner. So what I'm going to do is take this and do keyword-planner. So we're going to copy this portion of the URL here, copy it, come back over here, and we're going to add it right there. So now you can kind of see what we're doing is people who are visiting specific pages on my website related to the Keyword Planner, related to Google Ads. So if I open up another page here, so one is Google Ads remarketing. So I don't need to add this page, and I'm just using this as an example because I already have Google-ads added. So it's going to include this page as well. So if I come over here to Google Ads bid strategies, again, this one is also going to be added there. So pretty easy way to understand how Facebook is going to build my audiences. So once I include Google-ads, then any Google Ads page on my website where that is in the URL, people are going to be included in my audience on Facebook ads. So I'm going to come over here. And now the other thing I want to do is I have some pages on my website. Obviously, Google Ads used to be called Google AdWords. So I want to make sure I include those pages as well. So if someone's visited a page related to Google AdWords, they all obviously have an interest in Google Ads because many people still call it that. So we're going to come over here. So now I'm making sure that any page that contains Google Ads, Keyword Planner, or Google-AdWords is going to be included in my audience. And what I'm going to do is expand the days a little bit. So if anybody's been there in the past 90 days. So you can see here, you can go all the way up to 180 days for your audiences here when it comes to adding website traffic, custom audiences for people who visit specific web pages. So anybody who has visited that specific web page in the past 90 days that contains one of these three keywords will be included in my audience. So, or one of these three URLs using these terms with the hyphens, they'll be included in my audience. So I'm starting to build my audience here. So a few different options as you're building audiences. You can also do an and also here. So you can see you can add some different options. So it's people who visited specific web pages, the URL contains, and the URL also must match. So you have URL contains, so you can add some additional information here. I don't generally use this too often. I'll just put it all right in this first one. You can do further refine by. So if I click that, I can do frequency. So if I do frequency is greater than or equal to 2, that means people must have visited these pages at least 2 times in the last 90 days. So that's another way to really refine your audience a little bit. The other thing you can refine it by, so if I do further refine by here, you could do device. So I could do device and see if people use all mobile devices, iOS, Android, or desktop. So you can refine by a few different options there in your audience as well. I'm not going to do that, so I only care if people visit it one time, and it doesn't matter which device they use at all. So I can include more people here, so I can say people who visited these specific web pages, or I could do someone who has, maybe I do visitors by time spent, the top 25% in the past 30 days. So people who have visited my website for a long time in the past 30 days, I can expand this to 90 as well. Or I can also do some different options like people who visited specific web pages, which you could just include up here as well. Or I could do all website visitors or include some events here. So different ways to build website traffic, custom audiences. The other thing you can do is exclude people. So let's say, for example, the page I'm trying to sell some type of Google Ads course. So let's say I want to exclude people who visited specific web pages. We'll do in the past 180 days. And let's say someone is filling out my form, they're going through, they're purchasing, and after they're done purchasing, the URL is going to contain a value of Google Ads course purchase. So that means someone's going to my website, so they buy the Google Ads course that I'm selling here. And when they buy it, what's going to happen is they're going to be redirected to a page like surfsideppc.com/Google Ads course purchase. So just kind of understanding how you can include and exclude people from your audiences. So if you have a page that is set up as a custom conversion, you can make sure you're excluding people that have visited that page as well. So just another option that you have as you start building some of your different retargeting audiences. And you really do want to do this. So if you're trying to advertise for something specific, like one product, and once someone purchases, you want to exclude them from your campaign, you can make sure anyone who has visited that page in the past 180 days won't see your advertisements. So we're going to get rid of this right here. So what I want to do is target anybody who has visited these 3 specific pages on my website. I'm going to name my audience here. So we'll do, and we'll do website visitors. So we're going to click on create audience here. So now another thing we can do is find people similar to our existing users, use some lookalike audiences. So that's not really what this tutorial is about, but just so you know, you can do it. You can build lookalike audiences off the audiences that we just built. You can click on create an ad, but I'm not going to do that through this prompt right here. I'm going to click on done. So it's saying the size of the audience is not available yet. It's still populating. So as we start getting more data, Google's going to continue to populate that audience. And once it's fully populated, it's going to continue to stay populated until we get rid of the audience. So anybody who continues to visit those pages, if you go on my website right now and visit those pages, and then you go on Facebook, you're going to be added to this audience as well. So what I can do is, again, we're going to click on create audience here. We're going to go to custom audience again. So that's where you can build all your different retargeting audiences. So any of these options here you can use for retargeting. So video, so anybody who has viewed one of your videos on Facebook or Instagram, people who have interacted with your Instagram business profile, people who have interacted with events, with lead forms, with an instant experience, or people who have engaged with your Facebook page as well. You can also upload offline activity. So if you're collecting data offline, maybe you have a group of customers who belongs to a gym you own or something like that. What you can do is upload that offline event set. So maybe that you have their email address, their physical address, their phone number, their first name, their last name. You can upload all of that data to Facebook as well and use that as either a targeted audience or an excluded audience. So if you're looking for new people to join your gym, you want to make sure you're not targeting people who are already members. And then you can also do app activity as well. So people who have interacted with one of your apps, they're playing your game, they're downloading your app, whatever it is, you want to make sure you're either targeting them or excluding them based on what you're advertising. So these are some different options with sources. The other thing we'll use is Facebook page here. So let's just say anybody who's interacted with my Facebook page, I want to click on this. Anyone who has engaged with my page, and we'll just do again in the last 90 days. And we'll do page engagement, Surfside PPC, 90 days. So now it's going to be anybody who has interacted with our page, everyone who has engaged with it in the past 90 days. You can use some of these different options here as well. And every single one has different options when you're creating custom audiences. So now we have 2 different custom audiences created. We can retarget people who have engaged with our page. We can retarget people who have visited our website. Okay, so now the last thing we want to do, so we've created our 2 audiences here that we're going to be targeting. So what we want to do next is create an audience of people who have converted already, and then we're going to create a couple of saved audiences using some of these custom audiences that we just created. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to come in here to create audience. We're going to go to custom audience and we're going to do website traffic again. So to use the example previously, what we're going to do is include people who meet any of the following using our server-side PPC pixel, anybody who has visited specific web pages in the past, and we're going to do the maximum amount of time here, which is 180 days. So if the URL contains Google Ads course purchase, so let's just say for this theoretical course that we're selling, so we're selling a Google Ads course. Once someone purchases the course, they're going to be redirected to this page here. So the URL is going to be surfsideppc.com/Google Ads course purchase. So it's going to look something like that. And we're going to say anybody in the past 180 days, we want to make sure we exclude them from our campaign. So we're going to add all these people to this individual audience here. And what we're going to do is name the audience Google Ads course purchase. So very simple. So anybody who has purchased our Google Ads course and has reached this individual page here in the past 180 days. So for example, some common things here are people who have purchased anything from you, the page that you redirect them to. Let's just say someone signs up for your newsletter. Maybe you redirect them to a URL that contains thank you. So you would just add that right here. So we're going to keep this just as is, name the audience, and we're going to click on create audience. Okay, so now what we have is our 3 audiences here. So the next thing we want to do is create a couple of different saved audiences that we're going to use for our campaign. So if I come in here and I do saved audience, and I'm going to fast forward through the second time that I do this, but let's just name the audience. So we're going to do Google Ads course, Google Ads pages, retargeting audience. So that's going to be the name of our audience. We're going to be using it for our Google Ads course specifically. So what we're going to do here is under custom audiences, we're going to add the retargeting audience that we just created here. So Google Ads pages, 90 days, website visitors. You can come over here to custom audience too, so we can see it right here. So we're adding that audience. So anybody who is in that audience, we'll just leave it wide open. So people who live in the United States, age 18 to 65 plus, gender all. Let's just say our course is in English. So we're just going to target the English language for this example. We're not going to add any additional detail targeting or connections. We're not going to worry about any of that. So what we want to do is click on exclude here. So we want to make sure we're excluding people in this custom audience who have purchased the course. So if someone has visited our website and purchased the course, we want to exclude them from our campaign. So that's basically all this is saying. I'm going to fast forward to the second part of this, but I'm going to do the same saved audience for our engagement. So instead of this one up here, all we're going to do is under custom audience here is add page engagement, server-side PPC for 90 days. So I want to separate them into 2 different ad sets. You can put them in the same audience if you want to, but I'm going to separate them into 2 different ad sets just to give you an example as we're building our retargeting campaign. So we're going to click on create audience here. Okay, so now you can see here we've created 5 total audiences that are going to be working for this campaign. 2 of them are custom audiences that we're going to be targeting with our campaign. 1 is a custom audience that we're actually going to be excluding from our campaign. And if we look at our save audiences here, you can see 1 is an engagement audience where we're excluding the Google Ads course purchase and including the page engagement audience. And the other one is going to be the retargeting audience where we're obviously targeting our website visitors and where we're excluding people who have purchased our course. So pretty simple, and you want to make sure you're excluding people who have converted already so you don't continue to target them with your advertisements as you run your campaign. So now what we're going to do is come back over here and we're going to go back to Ads Manager. Okay, so now that we're in Ad Manager, we're going to click on Create. We're going to create a new campaign. There's a few different campaign objective options that you can use. So I don't actually have a conversion. I'm not actually selling a Google Ads course here. So under conversion, I'm still going to select conversions here. And we're just going to pretend that I am selling a Google Ads course. And I'm going to use my conversion because I'm not actually going to run this campaign. I'm just using it for the purpose of this tutorial. So what we're going to do is Google Ads retargeting. And we'll do Google Ads course. So what we're targeting, the name of the campaign. So you can name your campaign whatever you want. I'm not going to create a split test, but I am going to use campaign budget optimization. I'm going to optimize my budget across all the different ad sets. So with campaign budget, I like to use a lifetime budget. So I'll just do something like $150 here, for example. And then under campaign bid strategy, we're going to use lowest cost. So we're going to try to get the lowest cost conversions for our business. So that's ultimately what you want to do when you're setting up any campaign. We'll have a Facebook ads tutorial out. So we go over how to set up a campaign and exactly how we set up a campaign with some different strategies as well. So this is just one strategy, is using retargeting audiences. So we're going to be using our Google Ads course campaign here for our example, and we can click on show advanced options here as well. So it's going to say ad scheduling. We can run ads all the time, and our lifetime budget is just going to be $150. So I'm going to leave this wide open, but you can either run ads all the time or run them on a schedule, and you can select a delivery type of standard. There's a few different options there as well. You can use accelerated, but that's not going to be an option for right now. We're going to click on continue. So what we're going to do is set up our first ad set. We're going to use this as our conversion. You want to make sure you select the proper conversion from this conversion drop down here. So you always want to be optimizing for a conversion in Facebook. It's going to give you the best possible results for your campaign. So for the first ad set, I'm going to do Google Ads retargeting audience. Okay, so we have our ad set named. We have our conversion that we're optimizing for. Now, if you're not familiar with conversion tracking, we recently did a video, so how to install your Facebook pixel and how to create custom conversions with Facebook ads. So it's a very simple process. All you need to do is set up conversions for every time someone lands on one of your individual URLs. Or if you're using partner integrations here, you can actually just use some of their custom conversions that they already have created. So we're going to come back over here. You can see we have our website custom conversion here. We're going to keep scrolling down. We are going to be using dynamic creative for this campaign, so it makes it very simple. All you need to do is upload multiple images at once, multiple headlines, multiple descriptions, and Facebook is automatically going to optimize everything for us. So we can click on here. Okay, we can click on continue. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit. Now with audiences, the reason why I create saved audiences is because rather than creating a whole new audience here, all I need to do is click on use a saved audience, and then you're going to see our two audiences right here. So the one is page engagement. We're going to be using that for a different ad set. And then the other one right here is our retargeting audience. So we can target people who have visited our website, specifically the Google Ads pages. We can click on it. It's just going to automatically import that audience and make it very easy for us to just use that audience in our targeting. So now as we scroll down, for placements, I like to use automatic placements. If you click on edit placements here, you can see all the different options that Facebook has. So it has feeds, stories, in-stream, inboxes and messages, contextual spaces, more apps and sites. So basically, rather than selecting individual placements, I like to just let Facebook automatically optimize my campaign for me and just use automatic placements. So I always use that usually for campaigns, unless I'm just trying to target individual placements. I'll go through that a little bit more as I go through my Facebook ads tutorials. Now, as we keep scrolling down, budget and schedule. So our optimization for ad delivery is going to be conversions. Cost control will just be lowest costs. Facebook will aim to get the most leads and spend your entire budget. So very simple. Next is going to be schedule. So we can set start and end dates. So we have May 7th to June 7th. We have a conversion window here. So it's going to say 7 days click or 1 day view. We'll just leave that as is. So here for ad set spend limits, you're going to see it says this ad set is part of a campaign that is using campaign budget optimization. So if you have any spending requirements for your ad set, you can do that. I'm not going to do that. When you get charged is going to be every impression. Ad scheduling is mean to run ads all the time, and delivery type will just be standard. So now we can click on continue and start creating our advertisements. Now we're creating our ads here. So what we want to do is with our ad name, I'm just going to do dynamic ad Facebook Google Ads retargeting. Okay, so we're going to use our Facebook page here. I'm not going to use my Instagram account for Surfside PPC, so I just want to run it across Facebook. So we're going to scroll down a little bit. Okay, so our format is going to be dynamic creative here. So it's going to say single image or video. So one image or video or a slideshow with multiple images. So we're going to keep scrolling down. So under media here, so this is where you either upload your video or slideshow or upload your image or browse from your library if you already have some uploaded. So I have some uploaded already, so I'm going to browse library. You can see Google Ads right here. So I've uploaded a few different advertisements. We're going to select 4 of these. So what Facebook does now is it dynamically creates your advertisements so that you're using a lot of different advertisements just based on the images you select and the headlines and additional descriptions that you provide to Facebook as well. So we're going to click on continue here. So we can click on crop to make sure that it's cropped properly. So here's a square image. So we'll use that for square. For horizontal, we'll use something just like this. So this is fine. We'll use that. Okay, we'll apply changes. So now we're going to do this for all 4. Okay, so now we have all of our ads cropped. We have 4 different images uploaded here. You can also do video slideshow, but you'll lose your changes. So you can use images or videos, but not both. You can't use both. So we're going to keep scrolling down here. So now you can enter your website URL, enter your text, enter your headline, and enter your call to action. So I'm going to do all of that real quick. The main thing I want to go over is website URL. You can build a URL parameter now. So it's actually going to create URLs for Google Analytics so you can track your campaigns directly into Google Analytics. So I would use my website URL here. So let's just pretend my Google Ads course that I'm selling is at surfsideppc.com/Google Ads. Now I'll enter all the rest of the information. Okay, so I have my website URL here, Google Ads, my campaign source, I'm going to keep as Facebook, campaign medium, I use CPC, campaign name, so you could just dynamically use their campaign name here. If you get rid of it, you can see they have a few different options, campaign ID, ad set ID, ad ID. I just like to use campaign name, so then it'll go in properly. Campaign content, it's going to show ad set ID here. So I actually want to make sure I'm using the ad set name. So you can add more parameters if you want, but that's good for me. You can see URL preview. It's sending people to my page, UTM source, UTM medium, UTM campaign, and UTM content. I'll show you how all that works in a little bit. So we'll click on apply. Okay, so now you can see here, we have our images uploaded. So we're using 4 different images. We scroll down a little bit. Under text, we have 5 out of 5 options used. So Facebook is automatically going to optimize our text as they begin serving our advertisements. We have our website URL created with our tracking. We can scroll down a little bit. You can see our headline here. So it says Google Ads course, Surfside PPC Google Ads training. So we have 5 different headlines here that we can use. And then we have 5 different newsfeed link descriptions. We're also using a display link. So if we scroll down to the bottom a little bit, we can click on confirm, and now that's going to launch our campaign. Okay, so now the last thing I want to show you here is what we're going to do is click on our Google Ads retargeting campaign that we just created. So we click on it, you can see our ad set that we just created. So Google Ads retargeting audience. So we can easily just duplicate this ad set here. We can click on duplicate. It's going to duplicate the ad set into the original campaign. We're going to create 1 copy, and we can click on duplicate here. Okay, so now we have our duplicated ad set here. So you can see Google Ads retargeting audience copy. I'm going to do page engagement audience, and now we want to make sure we update our targeting here, so we're not just targeting the same exact audience. So you can see it's automatically going to import the other audience that we're targeting in this ad set over here to the left hand side. So we can click on use as saved audience and just update it to our page engagement for Surfside PPC 90 days, excluding anyone who has purchased the course here, and we can just click on publish now. So now what it's going to do is make sure we have our 2 different ad sets here. Since we're using campaign budget optimization, it's going to automatically optimize between our 2 different ad sets. So now once this is completely published, then we'll have our 2 different ad sets here. Okay, so now you can see it's all good to go. We have our page engagement audience, our Google Ads retargeting audience. Each of them will have the same advertisement in there. And the next thing I want to go through is Google Analytics. So we're going to go over to Google Analytics, and you open your Google Analytics account. So we have it open for Surfside PPC. You can see we have our campaigns here. So we have our all campaigns open. You can see our Surfside PPC newsletter campaign 2019. So users, 168 users. It's showing how many goal completions. So if we come back over here, you can see that's the Surfside PPC newsletter campaign right here. So you can actually see how your campaigns are performing in Google Analytics as well. I'm going to go through a little bit more detail about tracking, but just a simple way to track campaigns into Google Analytics so then that you can see how they're performing in Google Analytics as well as in Facebook ads. So again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Thank you for watching our video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.